Hey guys, and welcome back to another Unfiltered Gamer Kickstarter board game review. Today's game up on the tabletop is an abstract game made by Luis and Daniel Machado, and it's called DOCE. DOCE is for 2 players, ages 9 and up, and it takes about 15 to 20 minutes to play. This is an abstract game in which you're going to be using dice, placement, and strategy, including tactics, while you play die and change the orientation on how you want to place them. You're trying to score 4 die in a row of a certain number. Now, of course, you can also do some other little interesting things where you can use an opponent's die for the 4th die, and you can also score whether it be diagonal, up, down, left, or right. You'll also be getting additional little different kinds of things like this little token here, or this little cube that can block your opponent's movements that you can place in addition to your turn, including a normal die. And then, of course, the scoreboard. You'll be using a little grid tracker, and you're going to be trying to place down as best as you can, and you want to win as fast as you can as well. There's a variety of different ways to score points at the end of the round, but in order to score points, you must win. Anyway, that's the basic idea of the game. Let's go down below and I can show you the components and help you make sense of what I'm explaining. So here you have the game DOCE and everything included, and as you can see, you're going to be getting a grid-like structure, which is going to be a 5x5. You're going to get 2 sets of die, one for each player, and then you're also going to get a blank die or a blocker. These little pieces here are what are going to be put on top of your die, which is going to be the last die that you placed, and so it keeps track of that, and it also involves certain aspects in the rules. You're going to get a score tracker for your colors here, so if you were 51 points, you'd put one on the 50 and one on the 1, and you get for one player and of course for another player, and you can play different rounds throughout the game, so you're going to increase the score up to whatever you want, basically. This is the rulebook for the game, and of course the box, and pretty much everything you get in the game. Alright, let's come up and I'll explain how a turn works and how we're going to be putting these guys into this board here to win the game. So to begin a game of DOCE, you're going to simply be taking all of your die, including a blocker. You'll be taking this little see-through chit here, and then you're going to set your point tracker at 0. The youngest player is going to get to go first, and on your turn, you're simply going to take one of your die, arrange it in whatever number you want, 1 through 6, and place it on the board anywhere you want as well. After you do that, you're going to take your little chit and place it on top of your die, because that was the last die you placed. After that, your opponent is going to get a chance to play. They'll place their little die on the board. You can never place adjacent to the last die played, and on your turn, you're also able to utilize your blocker on the board, but you can only utilize 1, and after that, that is it. You're trying to get 4 dice in a row that equal 12. And also, if you don't happen to have 4, but you have 3, and your opponent has 1, if that also equals 12, you can win the game as well, which I'll explain down below to make more sense. You're trying to win as fast as possible, and you want to score with all of your dice, and have as many blank spaces left on the board. And if you don't use your red die or your blank die here, you'll score even more additional points. You'll add up your points at the end of the round, provided that you won, and then you go ahead and play again, alternating between the players. Once you get to a certain point allocation, whether it be 50 points or 100 points, that will end the game of DOCE, and then you can simply go ahead and play again if you want. Anyway, let's go ahead and take you down below, and I'll show you a couple of turns of the game so you'll get an idea of how to play it. So now we're back to the game DOCE, and as you can see, I went ahead and set up for 2 players, which it only is a 2-player game. You have 1 player over here, 1 player over here, and they'll have their little tokens. We'll start with white because why not? That white player is going to go ahead and select any of the spaces they want and place down their die. He's placed a 5 there, and he's going to put that marker on there, and the next player is going to get to go. Now the next player can place anywhere they want, provided that it is not adjacent to this die here, so they can't place anywhere here. So he will simply go ahead and place here. Then he'll place his little token there. The next player is then going to get to go once again, and same rules apply. Can't place anywhere there. However, he can place adjacent to his own, provided it's not adjacent to the last one of the player played, so you couldn't place there. So maybe perhaps he'll play here, and he'll play a 1 here. Now the reason you want to change the die is obviously you need to score 12 total in a row, whether it be with your own 3 dice and an opponent's die, or whether it just be simply with your 4 die. And also at the end of the game, if you have more than 2 of a singular number on the board here, you're going to lose points. So you want to try and keep away from that. Place that there. The next player is then going to get a chance to go. Maybe he'll go ahead and play over here and move this die over here, continuing the game. Pretty simple, right? Now this player is going to go ahead and simply select one. Maybe this one right here. Moving this right along like right there. And the next player is going to get a chance to go. Now, in a game like Connect 4, this would probably be the game. The game would already be over right here, because the next turn, this player can go ahead and play on this side or this side and score 12, but not in this case. So right now, the black player can't play these 3 spaces or these 3, so he can choose to play. Let's go ahead and put down a 4 here, right here. In addition, though, on his turn, he can go ahead and block a played spot or a non-played spot right here, and it doesn't actually have to follow the rules. So he could technically put this over here if he wanted to, regardless of where this little symbol is or this little token. So blocking the way for this player to score a 4 in a row. Now, also remember too, that's 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So if this was actually a 2, he would have then actually given white the victory here, because white can win if it's all 4 of his colors or 3 and then 1 of an opponent. So just make sure that you don't instantly give your opponent a victory. Placing that die down, putting this over here, and there is white's turn. Now also too, because he played this red one here, if at the end of the game he happens to win, he's going to lose 5 points, or he's going to not gain 5 points due to the fact that he used this. So saving this or not using it is very beneficial. So he obviously goofed here. All right, so now it is back to white again, and white is going to go ahead and play, let's say right here. All right, and then now back again. So this will move over here, and now it's this player's turn here, and this player will go ahead and play something like this one. And he'll move his token over here. And now white will have another go. What does white want to do? So maybe white wants to play right here. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And that is going to score him points. He's going to win the game. White will win because it's 3 of his, 1 of his opponents. And you can go ahead and check the scoring in the book. It's very, very simple. It says the winner is going to get 12 points for the round. So in this case, white won. So white's going to go ahead and put one of these tokens on 2, one of these tokens on 10. 2 points if all 4 dice are yours. So it's not all 4 dice are not his. 5 points if you don't use your blocker. So he didn't. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And 1 point for each empty square on the board. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 points. That's pretty good, right? Boop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then minus 2 for every 3 dice of the same number. So in this case, he's got a 1, 2 3s, a 4, and a 5. So if there was 3 3s here, he would actually lose 2 points. But he doesn't. He doesn't have that, so he's okay. And that would be the end of the round. Everybody would take their dice back, and they would continue playing yet again, following the same rules. Obviously, you want to be the white player here because he's pretty good. This black player is still learning, apparently. But that's the basic idea how you play the game. DOCE. All right, let's come up and talk about a few caveats, and then let's get into my review. All right, so some caveats for the game. And the first and only one I actually have is when you're playing the game and you're going to use your opponent's die to score, it always has to be on the end. So one of these sides, it can't be anywhere in the middle like this. That is actually not going to score, regardless of this actually being 12 points. So we have 6 and we have 4, which is 10, and then 1 and 1, which is 12. So that would have to be the case. It could be in any direction as long as it's on the outside. And so that is kind of the only little critique I have, just so you are aware, that's the only thing I have to say about caveats. So what do I think about this game? Well, first of all, this is a prototype. So there's a few components here that I'm looking to see upgraded, specifically the board here will be updated, and probably these little chits and even the little see-through marker maybe. But overall, the quality is really nice. I like this game. I like the quality of the die. They're really nice and shiny and bright. It's a very simple, abstract strategy game that has a lot of thought processes in it, and it is different than other ones I've played. And I like the different abstract games. I'm trying to think of a couple of them that reminds me of, there's like a sumo game that reminds me of, it has this checkers chess sort of feel where you're going back and forth with your opponent. The game would be kind of decent in my opinion without these, but with these extra blockers the game gets rather interesting, because choosing to utilize them or not can in fact help you win the game, but at the point of costing you points. Also, realizing where you play to help your opponent can make a difference. As you saw, I won with my opponent's die, and so that is important to be careful of where you're going to place things, and you always want to know at least 2 or 3 turns in advance what you want to do. This has the opportunity for analysis paralysis, as in most abstract games do, and it's one of those games where the theme is non-existent, right? You're simply going to be placing die down, you're trying to gather a specific amount of points, and it's going to have a lot of thought, a lot of thinking. It's not going to be one of those games where you're talking a lot, you're too much in the zone with this game. When we first started playing it, I was really into it. My cameraman was okay with it. And as we continued playing, we started seeing all the different unique little strategy aspects of the game and how you can change things. Originally, now from him reading the rules, he was just like, oh, this is going to be broken. But then after we started playing it, he realized, or we realized that it was nowhere near this. It plays very, very nice. Easy flow, easy to understand. Is this a kid's game? Probably not as much. It's probably teens, late teens to adults are going to be interested in playing a game like this because of the cutthroat nature. However, kids can play this game because it's very simple and very easy to understand. However, there's a lot that can go into the thought process of this game. The rules are very simple. This is it. That's all you need for the rules to the game. But the complexity and the strategies involved in it actually are rather thick. Not to the point of length, but to the point of thought. So if you're a person who enjoys chess more than checkers, or a person who enjoys playing I can't remember the name of the game where you're moving the different dots around the board and you're trying to block out your opponent's spaces and trying to score as many of your color on the board as possible. It has that feel to the game. The components are rather nice, like I said, and it just feels good to play this game. It's one of those games I can easily bring out as a filler game, or if I only got 2 people to play it, it's somewhere I can play this game very easily because it has a very small shelf space as well as a table presence. You only need to hold the dice in your hand and play it on the board here, and you can play multiple rounds. I probably wouldn't play more than 2 or 3 rounds, I guess. Maybe best 2 out of 3 if you're playing with points. Maybe whoever gets to 40 points first. But overall, it's a nice game. Whether you're going to want to pick up this game is up to you, but I think for you abstract players out there who enjoy games like this is definitely one I wouldn't suggest on passing up. Go ahead and take a look on the Kickstarter campaign in the description below. If DOCE looks like something that'd be interesting to you, for us, Smart Iguana Games, really well done. I really enjoyed this game. This is probably the second game I've gotten that's an abstract that I thought was really, really solid and really simple. So I like that. DOCE. Do ahead and check it out. Thank you guys for watching another Unfiltered Gamer board game review. If you're interested in checking out more of our videos, go ahead and do so on YouTube right now, as well as checking our website, unfilteredgamer.com. We have a lot of blog posts, giveaways, Kickstarter lists, and more. And don't forget to check out the game DOCE, a really fun little abstract game for those abstract players. If you're not an abstract player, it's probably not going to entice you, but for those of you who like that 2-player back and forth strategy, you're going to enjoy this game. Also, go ahead and check out our friends, everythingboardgames.com, and The Giveaway Geek, giving away a couple good games right now, as well as my own site. We're giving away 2 right now, one of them being Utter Nonsense, and the other one being the How Game Are You? And we'll likely be giving away Rank Busters if everything goes well this week. That's all I got for you this time, and as always, guys, I look forward to playing some dice with you next time.